female entrepreneur, executives, founders, and lovely lady, Samira Salman, who is the CEO and founder of Salman Solutions. Samira was born and raised in Europe and throughout the Middle East, where she then completed boarding school in Switzerland before coming to the US to complete her undergraduate and law degree from LSU, before then going on to create her LLM in taxation at the University of Houston. A former Attorney General who sat in-house for Shell, Samira works with family offices and helps them think through their direct investment platform and strategies. She is currently a professor at LSU, where she has created her own program and class that specifically helps her students build their business brand. And she speaks globally on the direct investment platform, helping others beyond just the family office spectrum think about this very unique asset class and how to allocate to it. So I think in short, and I could read you pages more of Samira's bio, but Samira gets it. She gets the men, she gets the women, and most importantly, she gets the numbers. So I am thrilled to turn over the time to Samira so we can learn from her experiences and understand her vantage point into this very unique space. Samira?
Thank you. Hello, am I on? Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Bob and Nathan and Mo and this awesome team. This has been one of the most pleasurable conference experiences I've had. And I'm a very casual speaker, so if you guys want to ask questions while I'm speaking, I'm happy to answer that. The goal of this keynote today is for every human in here to be able to raise as much capital as they need to grow their businesses, okay? So let me see a show of hands. Who here is currently raising capital for their businesses? Okay. Who here has already raised capital? Now keep them up if you've raised over $1 million. Keep it up really high, higher. Okay, everybody here who wants to raise capital, look at the people whose hands are up. These are people you need to be speaking with later. Has anybody raised over 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? You're gonna need security, ma'am. Okay, so the point of that exercise is to illustrate there are humans in this room who have raised a lot of capital and you wanna learn from them. So the purpose of today is 5 steps. I'm gonna give you exercises, I'm gonna give you to-do items, I'm gonna give you books to read, take as many notes as you can, and look at this process of capital raise as training for the Olympics. I like to think of it as the day that you start your company with the capital fully in the bank is the day of the Olympics. The thing you've been training for 4 years, right? So I'm gonna use a lot of these sports analogies as I speak. But there are 5 steps here. Each of them has sub-steps. And again, ask questions during my speech if you need clarification on these. It's really important that you understand what I'm speaking about, and you can take home some to-do items, some homework, so you can actually raise this capital, okay? And I do believe firmly that if you put your mind to it, mindset, okay? If you believe that you can raise the money you need for your business, you will raise the money you need for your business. Investors read body language first. If you walk into your investment meeting, head high, shoulders back, knowing that you deserve this money, you're gonna get it. If you walk in there like this, not really sure, but I have this thing, you're not gonna get it, okay? So the very first thing you need to do is set your mind correctly. Write an affirmation, write some mantras. Every single morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I deserve 5 million, 10 million, 20 million from my business. You have got to get your mind right around this capital raise process. If you don't believe you deserve the money, then nobody else is gonna believe that you deserve the money, okay? Investors invest in people. So if they see you come in there all strong and confident and I deserve this money, they're gonna want a piece of that. There's a really great TED talk by a woman named Amy Cuddy. She talks about the power posing. I power pose in my mirror. This morning, in my hotel, I power posed. Okay? It works. The other piece of this is commitment. If you plan to win, you'll win. If you don't plan to win, you will not win. And guess what? It's the Olympics, 4 years, you're training. There are going to be certain times you're going to hit obstacles, you're going to hit road bumps, you're going to hit blocks. People are going to tell you no, they're going to tell you you have a dumb idea, they're going to tell you no one will invest in you. If you are committed to raising the capital, you're going to meet those roadblocks like a little bump, brush it off, keep going. Or you can go home and cry for 4 days. It is your energy, it is your time, and it's your life, okay? So we can't control what anybody else is going to say to us. We can't control how they're going to, evaluate our idea. What we can control is how we respond and react to it. So I'm going to give you some exercises right now, okay? First, you're going to all write a declaratory statement. I will raise $5 million. I deserve to have my money. And you're going to write some affirmations around that. And every single day, you're going to stand in your mirror and you're going to read those to yourself. Is there anybody here that doesn't believe this works? I don't see any hands. So my point is, do it because it works. And we all know that it works. You have to train your mind to think differently. Because we're training for the Olympics, endurance athletes have this term called the pain cave, right? Where it gets really hurt and painful and they know they're going to be there. This is what fundraising is. It is not a one-time process. It is not I'm going to wake up today and raise some capital this week and next week I'm just going to. It is a long-term commitment. You've got to buckle in, you've got to strap in and know every single day you're going to be raising this capital. Number 2 is preparation, okay? Fundraising is also a skill set. It's not a gift, it's not magic, it's a skill set. And you're going to train yourself, okay? Remember, 4 years from now, but really for you guys like 2 or 3 months from now, is your Olympic day. Every single day until then, until you have that capital raise, you're going to wake up and train, okay? You need to make a list. What are the things you need? You need a pitch deck. You need a financial model. You need a pitch. You need a data room. You need some investors to meet with. You make your list of what you need to raise capital, and every single day, every single morning, you work on that list. You put in a chunk of time in your calendar to work on your capital raise. It is training, and you do it every single day. You make a commitment. Number 2, and this is an area that I really harp on with women. Excellence is not an option, especially if you are a woman. I did not make up the rules to this game, but I know them really well. This is not the place for misspelled words and messy pitch decks and numbers that don't tick and tie. When you are training, every single day you're going to review your materials and you're going to make them better and better and better and better. I just did a financial model for a project I'm working on, and I literally, for 3 weeks, every day worked on that thing after it was done. So I built it, and then for 3 weeks, every day, I spent at least 30 minutes going through every cell. Are they ticked right? Are they tied right? Are the numbers right? Are the formulas right? Is there anything in here that's incorrect? Because excellence is not an option. You're asking somebody to give you their money. Don't they deserve your best work, your brightest work, the best work that you can do? This is something that I get really upset. I've received emails as an investor with my name spelled wrong. Am I going to give you money? I've received pitch decks with misspelled words. Am I going to give you money? I've received Excel models that don't add up. Am I going to give you money? And the reason I harp on it with women is, unfortunately, I see this more with women than men. Yes, we're all busy. Yes, we're all pulled in 20 directions. Yes, we all don't have enough time to answer our emails and do everything on our list. However, excellence is not an option when it comes to fundraising. If you don't have the time to get your materials perfect, do not go raise funding. Any questions on that one? All right, so again, you're going to make your list every day on what you need to do, and you're going to work on each of these items every single day. Nothing will give you the confidence necessary to raise funds more than being perfectly prepared. Trust me on this one. If you have a solid financial model, and you know your numbers backwards and forwards, and you go in that meeting head to head with that investor and you nail it, and that takes practice, you guys. This isn't like an art form, it's practice, it's training, it's over and over and over. Okay, I need to move faster. Number 3 is market understanding, okay? You need to understand the game, the rules of this game, and the playing field. I did not write these rules. Do not throw things at me when I tell you what they are, okay? Our job, especially as women, is to learn these rules so well that we win every single time. There's an awesome book by 50 Cent the Rapper and Robert Greene. It's called The 50th Law. I love this book. It's a fantastic book. It'll change the way you think about business. He has a chapter in there about intense realism. The reality of the situation is the funds are controlled by a select group. That is a fact. I cannot change that fact. What I can do is understand what does that group need to see and how do they need to see it so they give me the funds. All right? I appreciate the fact that it's difficult for women to get funding. I am a woman. I get that memo. However, I think the way that we've approached it is incorrect. It's hard for us to get funding, and there are people with the money. So we need to spend all our time, effort, and energy figuring out what do they need to give us the money, and then we need to prepare that. Anything else to me is irrelevant. Why? Because once I get the money, then I win. And then I can take my money and I can give it to you and you can win. We need to stay focused on how to secure funding, period. Everything else is irrelevant. I can't change the rules tomorrow, but I can change them a year from now or 5 years from now. What if every single woman in here commits to raising at least $1 million in the next 12 months? Do you think we'll start changing the rules? Do you think the playing field will be different? So that's what I'm inviting all of us to do. And every man who's in here, help a woman raise funding. Partner, teach each other, learn together. The other thing is you need to map the market and match your company perfectly with a likely investor. There are many different funding options. If you don't have a VC type of model that can generate VC type of returns, do not seek VC funding. This is one of the other mistakes we're making as women. We're taking our square peg and trying to shove it in a round hole. What you need to understand is what your business model is, how you're going to generate revenue, how you're going to return to your investor. Once you understand that, try and match yourself up to the type of investor. There's private investors, there's institutions, there's different grants, foundations. There's different ways you can get capital. Do not think that a VC is the only way that you can get capital. So what you need to do is understand all the different ways you can get capital, research them, and make yourself a hit list. Draft out your perfect investor profile. My perfect investor is somebody that believes in consumer goods or this or that, whatever it is. Make it like you're making an order form and you're gonna order this person to come to you, right? You're placing your order. You need to do the research, you need to understand. The other thing that I'm gonna say is this. We've all been told kind of crappy stuff while we're women trying to rise in the marketplace, okay? Write down all that stuff that's been said to you. Can you give me the coffee? I didn't know women could do math. Who cares? Write it all down, burn it. Laugh about it with your girlfriends. You guys, if you let that stop you, then we're not going to be able to move forward. The goal is to secure funding, build huge companies, have massive exits so we can lift the rest of us up. That's the goal. Anything other than that, if you're spending your time on any of that, it's a waste of your time. Now, to my favorite topic on the planet, numbers. This is the only thing that matters. All that other stuff I said was awesome. This is the only thing that matters. Okay? Pretty pitch decks cannot replace poor financials. Unfortunately, I see beautiful pitch decks from women all the time, gorgeous pitch decks, say, send me your financial model. They're like, we don't have a financial model. Then you don't have a business. I'm going to say that again. If you don't have a financial model, you do not have a business. You have a hobby, You have an activity, you have a charity, but it's not a business, okay? So everyone here needs to take out their financial model. If you don't have a financial model, you need to build one. You open up Excel, you write revenue, and you write expenses. Under revenue, you write as many line items as you can. How are you making revenue? Do you have products? Do you have services? How many SKUs? How many different items? Under expenses, you write down all the things that you need, and then you start putting projections in there. You build your financial model step by step, very methodically, very thoughtfully. You allow your investor to see your work. You have to show your work. It can't just be this magic number you typed in there. Show your formulas. Show all your assumptions. As women, we do more research, more analysis, more thought than men do. But we don't show it. You need to take all of that research you do, put it in the Dropbox, so when they ask you, why do you think that you can sell 20 items a month? You pull up this whole Dropbox of all the research you did because we know you did it. You Googled it to figure it out. Show them. This is why. Open it up in the meeting. Look, I did all this Googling. I think I can sell 20 items. Always show your work, so when you're going through your model with your potential investor, if y'all don't agree on something, you can make that tweak and adjustment right there. So instead of it saying 20, you change it to 18, and it all flows through your model, and you have a different number, and the conversation keeps going. If you just type in a number and you have no work, they're going to look at it and go, I don't agree, and move on. I've been doing this a long time, even though I look like I haven't, and I'm telling you this is the key. Break it down enough so you can stay in the game, you can keep on that field, and you can keep having this conversation. Additionally, women, do not under-project. It is a fact that women make their numbers smaller, men make their numbers bigger. Investors, the majority of which are men, always cut down. I spend the majority of my life sitting in rooms with men, evaluating deals with inflated numbers. So as a habit, we cut all the numbers down a bit. So here comes a woman's model. We're going to cut yours down too. Don't let us do that. Give me your real numbers. Show me why you know you can meet those projections. Additionally, with your expenses, don't undercut yourself. Write down everything that you need to successfully build your business. Don't undercut it. I mean, this thing makes me crazy. Like, you think if you ask for $1 million, you'll get it, but if you ask for $2 million, you won't. There is plenty of capital out there. There's a plethora of capital. So your job is to ensure that you get the right amount that you need to build and grow and scale your business as best as possible. Don't undercut it. Don't make it smaller. You have to go in there and you have to own it, and you have to know, I need this money so I can do these 5 things with it, and these will be my 10 results. Any questions about the numbers? Okay. Now, here's the fun part. Hustle and close. Number 1, people invest in people. People they like, people they trust. So you need to build rapport and relationships with potential investors. These are human beings. These are not checkbooks. These are human beings. You need to get to know them as human beings. Ask questions, learn about their families, learn about their backgrounds, learn about their pain points. Become the solution to their problem. We had an investor once, he really was having trouble finding interns for his company. We connected him to the career people at the blah, 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 blah. That had nothing to do with our business, but what did it do? It helped this investor solve a problem. It built a relationship, it built rapport. I was just in Newport, Rhode Island at a big investor conference. There was really not that much business discussed. People getting to know each other, playing golf, yachting, fishing, whatever they're doing, getting to know each other, because you want to do business with people you like and people you trust. Investors are people. So build those relationships. And don't look at people like they're checkbooks. Don't sit down and start pitching. Nobody likes that. I cannot stand when people sit down and start going through a pitch deck. That's horrible. I want to talk to you. I want to know who you are. I want to get to see what type of person you are. Do we have personalities that match? If I'm going to invest in you, I want to know I can talk to you. Because if we're going to have a trouble with the business, which every business goes through rocky things, I want to know that I can speak to you and we can work on how we're going to resolve this because we have a relationship. So building rapport is really important. Also, you need to put on your game face. from minute one. You are negotiating from minute one. Always. How you dress, how you answer email, how you show up, are you late? All these things investors are looking at to see, am I going to be able to manage my risk with this person? If you answer emails sloppy, you're always late, you never get back to them on time, and they haven't even written you a check yet, they're not going to write you a check. Because all they're going to think is, okay, I'm going to write this person a check, and then they're never going to answer my email. So this is why you want to show up as professionally and in as much excellence as possible. Don't answer text messages sloppy. Don't answer emails sloppily. It's really important that you're in excellence. You are asking somebody to give you a lot of money. That person deserves your best. And to me, it's a respect and honor thing. I want to be very communicative. I want to answer emails correctly. I want to treat others like I want to be treated. So you need to treat your investors how you want to be treated, with respect. Okay? We've all heard really terrible things as women trying to raise funding. Again, you can only control how you respond and react. A fun little activity to do is to write down a couple of the craziest things you've heard in your career. Call a couple girlfriends, plan an evening for wine or tea or whatever, and read your list aloud to each other, and then share the stories around it. It's hysterical. I can share some hilarious stories. One of my favorite is I had a man look at me dead in the face and said, "You should do all your business over the phone." I was like, really? Why? He said, because you're so pretty, nobody would believe you're as smart as you are. And I'm like, took me a minute, I took a deep breath, and I said, well, I'm not getting any dumber, and I'm not getting any uglier, so we gotta move on. That's one of my favorites. There's all kinds of other things that are gonna happen. We can all sit here. I've been the only female. I worked on the Enron deal. I was in that room. I mean, I could tell y'all stories, but you know what? At the end of the day, all I control is my response and reaction, and I don't let it. There's also geographic issues and cultural issues, and when I live in New York, but I'm from the South, it's like a whole different world, how you're treated. Just this month, 3 weeks ago, I was at a very high-level meeting. There were 12 of us in a conference room. I was the only female at the table who wasn't staff. One of the gentlemen went around and introduced himself to everyone but me. This happened 3 weeks ago. I could sit there and be upset and get my feelings hurt and be like, he doesn't respect me. Or I could just blow it off and be like, that guy's not very smart, and move on. So what I'm trying to say, ladies, is I know we have feelings. I get mine hurt too. But you cannot let it derail you. This is the difference between men and women that I see in my business. When I give a man criticism and comments on his pitch deck, financial model, et cetera, he picks himself up, he goes to his office, he makes those edits, and he gives it back to me. Women either get defensive, or cry, or get upset, or yell back at me. And I'm like, I'm on your team. I want you to get funding too. So pick up the advice, go back to your office. And we need to support each other in that. If you hear one of your female friends, colleagues, complaining, comparing, any of that nonsense, nip it in the bud. Say, that's not gonna help us get forward. Let's sit down, let's go find ourselves a mentor and figure out how to get this financial model right. We have got to have that attitude. Little boys, they fall on the field, they pick up themselves, dust off, and keep playing. What do we do with little girls? We put them on the side and let them cry. This behavior has happened now in our business world. We get kicked a little bit, we get knocked down, we step out. Ladies, we're tougher than they are, you know it. That's why we have the babies, right? Stay on the playing field. I don't care what you have to do. If you're like hobbling, get your girlfriend to help you, but stay on the playing field. If you need to call your, a mentor or guide, an advisor, and say, hey, I need some support here, do that, but don't pull yourself off the playing field. The other thing is you need to own it and don't take no for an answer. Here's another one of my pet peeves. What were your revenues in 2015? 9 times out of 10, I ask a man and he tells me a number, because that answer That question deserves a numerical answer. I ask a woman, I get 3 paragraphs of explanation and talking. Now, the panel before me spoke a lot about this. Remember, these people here have all the money and we want it from them. We need to understand what they need and how they communicate. Sound bites. Sound bites. We talk too much as women. I'm a female, 100% female. But when I sit on the investor side, I ask a question I want an answer. Don't give me all this other stuff. What are revenues in 2015? Give me a number. How is XYZ? I don't know, I need to check back with you. Don't just start talking a lot. This is one of the ways I think we shoot ourselves in the foot. As women, when we're with women, we dialogue differently. This panel spoke about it earlier. When we are with men, we need to understand that we're gonna think a little bit and give the right piece of information. If you don't know the answer, say, I don't know the answer, I'll get back to you. But more talking does not lead to more success. It leads to you lose people's attention, okay? You need to own this with confidence. What were revenues in 2015? They were this $1 million. How is this? This is that. Because you've studied your financial models so much, you know it backwards and forwards. I don't care if you don't understand numbers. Excel is very easy. It does the math for you. You need to memorize that thing and it needs to become your best friend. I have never given money to a woman that cannot tell me about the revenues and cash flow in the business. I might as well burn it in my front yard. It is the #1 differentiator between success and failure if you know your numbers. So you need to own it, own your numbers, answer clearly. If you don't have the answer, then say you'll get back to them. And remember, you're gonna have your full data room on your computer in that meeting with all your research that you did for years because you're a woman, we know how we do it, on all your little folders. And you're gonna be able to pull it all up right there and go, this is why I know this, this is why I know that, this is why I know this. The other thing you're gonna do is you're gonna write down the 20 questions that you're most terrified of answering about your business, and you're gonna figure out how to answer them like a boss. You're also gonna videotape yourself asking for money. I want $10 million. And do it over and over and over. You're gonna answer these hard questions. You're gonna videotape, you're gonna get your friends until you own this and you viscerally believe that you deserve this money. Would you guys give me money right now if I asked you for it? Sure. Thank you. I wasn't born this way. It's a home skill. Well, maybe I was, but that's a whole nother conversation. So, write down all your weaknesses, your areas of improvement, the things you know that throw you off your game. Then figure out how you can overcome them. For instance, if you know that you're somebody that you can't go more than 2 hours without having a snack or a restroom break or whatever, own that and make sure if you're in a meeting and it's running long, you say, excuse me, I need to take a break. Too many times we don't do that. If you're the kind of person that doesn't feel comfortable being in a room full of men, well then bring some people with you. Very often when I go to certain types of meetings, not really anymore, but younger in my career, I'd bring 3 old white guys with me. Remember, I didn't create the rules. I'm gonna win the game. There's a difference, okay? My goal is to get the money. I don't care what I need to do to get the money as long as it's legal. Like I don't wanna be arrested, but anything outside of that is fair game, right? So I know if I bring 3 other dudes with me, and that's gonna make me be able to get the money easier because now all those dudes are more comfortable because there's other dudes. It doesn't make me any less smart. It doesn't make me any less capable. But it does get me the money. So this is the thing, ladies, like we get all mad that that's the case. Who cares? I still got the money. And now I can take the money and I can build my business and I can give it to you and I can help you build your business. So this is the thing, ladies, like you've got to understand that the media, God bless all of you who are in here, but the media is hurting us with all these messages they're giving us. Who cares? I don't care that I had to bring a dude to the meeting, I still got my money. So stay focused, find a group of women who are also trying to raise funding, find some mentors. I interviewed 20 to 30 investors before I ever raised $1. And I said, what do you like? What do you dislike? What are we doing wrong? How can we do it better? Get men to help you. Sit down with them. Here's my pitch. What do you think? Drill holes in it. Identify all your weaknesses. Work with your mentors to solve them. Like, this is a long game, and it requires stamina, and it requires execution every single day. Okay? I think I'm out of time, but we have time for questions.
We'll do 3 questions. So come up to one of the microphones in the middle, please, and ask your questions. We are over a long time now, so we'll do 3 questions.
I didn't go that much over.
No, not you.
Oh.
Relatively throughout the morning. It's okay. It was good content and everybody enjoyed it, but we'll do 3 questions.
Hi, my name is Michael Bell, and I work in business finance. So my question would be how would we, where would we find investors to network? I mean, I know it's hard to find networking events with investors. So where we could find investors?
Here.
Yes, I'm like, at this conference. So do investors have a certain thing on their badge?
No, because they don't want to feel like they have
them to
a
be
target.
targeted?
It'll be the last time they come.
So let's answer this question for you though. Any type of conferences where there are startups and there are companies, there will be investors, okay? Then you also want to start researching. There are angel networks, venture capital groups, etc. in your area. So where do you live?
I'm not surprised.
Okay, so there's probably some groups around here. I mean, I'm sure Bob knows, but this is the part that every single day you're going to get on your computer and you're going to Google investors in the area, investors in Broward County, investors in Florida, venture capital, angel, this and that. You've got to find out where the events are and where the places are that you can meet them, and you start with that. And whenever you meet an investor, you always ask them, are there any other investors you can introduce me to?
Hi, I really want to thank you for giving us the lowdown on 5 points. It's really, really helpful. I have a quick question. Are you a fan of LivePlan, and have you ever used it for financials?
I don't know what that is.
It's a business plan software.
Okay.
And actually, instead of using an Excel sheet and
Okay.
putting the numbers that way, it actually makes it very, very easy to figure out your 5-year plan
Okay.
numbers-wise.
Can you download it to Excel?
You can.
Okay,
Yeah.
as long as you can download it to Excel, because that's what the majority of investors and our analysts are going to use. So yeah, I mean, whatever you need to do, even if you start with crayon on paper, but it needs to be in an Excel spreadsheet in little boxes with formulas at the end of the day.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, thank you
Hi.
so much for sharing that knowledge.
You're welcome.
My name is Juan Carlos Carrion. I have a question. So I have 3 models. As part of my business, I have done an optimistic model,
Yeah.
a most likely, and a conservative model. Do I send all 3? Do I send the most conservative, or do I send the one with the big numbers, the most optimistic, where everything goes right? What would you like to see?
You put them all in your model. Your first tab is the one that you choose as the most likely to happen. So whether you're doing the low, medium, or high scenario, you put that first. Okay? On a summary page. And then you have the 3 ones, small, medium, low here, and you easily can switch out. If investor says, look, I think you're being way too conservative if you use the low, then you should be able to press a couple of buttons and get the medium numbers to feed in there.
Oh, gotcha. So
It looks like a epiphany happened, yes. You put all 3 tabs, you say low, medium, high. You say, I modeled my P&L on the medium, but I can easily change it to low or high.
Gotcha.
Options. People like options.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Samira. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.